Hi everyone, it's Joanna. I'm a real estate broker in the state of Illinois, and I'm here today with Matt.
Hey, how you doing, Joanna?
I'm good. How are you? We
Great.
are here today to talk a little bit about the market update. Everything is changing, and since last month, we have huge changes. And I invited Matt here today to talk a little bit more about what's happening on the market. But from my side, we have 1,300 more homes under contract since last month. That's huge. And as you probably know, there's a lot of people that is getting ready. So I think both of that, what Matt's going to talk about, probably interest rate in a moment, and that we are getting ready for a tax season comes together, and you guys are getting ready. So, Matt, how can you explain to us what's really happening? Why all of a sudden we have so many buyers that are coming back to us?
So I think people are finally starting to feel the interest rates ease off. A few months ago we were topping 8%, which is a hard pill to swallow, and I understand that. People would hear numbers and go, "Oh my God, that's crazy." And there's a big impact to the payment. So a lot of people just, they want a certain level of home, they want to level up, and if they bought a few years ago, the payment may be so substantially high compared to what they had, it just doesn't make sense at the time. But
Right.
luckily, we've seen inflation start to come down. So, and just recently, this past month, CPI, it went up 0.3%, but that's a normal number. That's where about we should be. And annually from 3.1% inflation to 3.4%, which is near the lowest level in 3 years. So inflation's coming down. The job market's cooling off a little bit, which counterintuitively is good for mortgage rates. So as you start to see a recession or recession-like symptoms in the economy, you'll start to see mortgage rates get better. And at the same time, home prices go up.
Right.
So we're
Right.
kind of prepping for that. And I feel like, some of this inflation too was used cars went up, car insurance is going up, some things that are going to be one-time deals. So the market really didn't take it too poorly. They kind of said, okay, used cars are up a little bit. That's due to some supply and demand issues and things going on, but that's going to level itself out. Car insurance, it's kind of that, homeowners insurance, car insurance lately has been going up.
Mm-hmm.
But all those increases have just gone in, and that shouldn't be something we see every year. They're just trying to make up for it. Last few years, we've seen, home prices go up, supplies go up, all those things. If they have a claim, the claim is more expensive. So
Mm-hmm.
now they have to spread that among their customers, and your policy goes up for the year. But that's really due to that 9.1% inflation that we saw, the last few years. And now, we're in the range of currently 3.4%. So
Yeah.
we've
Yeah.
substantially cut inflation down. So now
Right.
as
That's
as
great.
we move into this year, you're really going to see rates start to improve. It's not going to be a big drop, and I think we'll probably see it just slowly stair step, kind of a two steps forward, one step back. This week we had some bad news in the markets a little bit, so we kind of stagnated or moved back a slight amount, but nothing too crazy. But it's kind of going to be like that. I know everyone's expecting that huge drop and something to happen right away, but I really think we'll see it as the year
Gradually.
progresses.
Yeah.
Second, third quarter we'll start to see the Fed cut rates. The market's going to like that, and all these factors will start to pile up. And if jobs and unemployment and things like that start to turn south, then also that's going to pile on as well.
Yeah, I don't know if you agree with me, but I also noticed that a lot of people, like you mentioned, they purchased a few years back,
Mhm.
and they were holding off because of the interest rate. But at the same time, now that the interest rate are going down, I see a lot of people using that equity that they built in the past 3 years. Maybe they purchased with 5% down
Yeah.
now to kind of, have the payments kind of similar what they were before. With this equity that they already built, they kind of,
Yeah.
refinancing or maybe buying the new homes with that 20% so they don't have to have PMI. And that's something I think to think about, that, even though you may not quite be ready yet, your
Mhm.
house may be actually worth so much
Yeah.
more right now, and you
Yeah.
can use that equity into transition to a different property.
That's a great point too. And something to definitely keep in mind because we've seen record appreciation. A lot of people are up 10, 20, whatever percent. You take those funds, like just like you said, put that down, do an increased down payment, and combined with, again, even from 2 months ago, we're seeing payments that are down hundreds of dollars a month.
Right.
So we're getting back, standard is in the fives is a normal interest rate, historically. So we're getting to that range, and hopefully by the end of the year, we'll dip into the fives again, and on the averages. And hopefully, into 2025, we'll see. I've seen estimates as low as, in upper fours.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a little optimistic. I
Yeah.
would more say we'll slowly creep down and then possibly be into the mid fives in 2025. But again, that's a great middle of the road average, rate. We kind of were spoiled there a couple years ago with the, 2, 3, 4% range.
Right.
But now we're getting back to reality, and people can upsize, people can take that equity and put it down, and really get a payment much closer to where they would have been. So that's a very good
Exactly.
point.
Yeah. And for the healthy economy, we cannot be either too high or too low, right? We want to kind of keep around that
Exactly.
5.
I almost, as much as I hate to say it, I do like that the Fed, they did hike way too late. So they took action too late, which kind of caused a lot of this high inflation. But they're being very measured, because what they don't want is inflation to come kicking back.
Yeah.
So they're gonna cut, but they're not gonna cut really quickly, because inflation could start to come back. So they're gonna watch the numbers, watch the job reports, watch unemployment, and they've it looks like they might have nailed that soft landing they had, spoken about, because they said they wanted to avoid a big recession. So far, they've done that. We'll see if that holds going forward. But they're doing a fairly good job now of balancing. Let's do a cut, let's do this. Let's not jump into it too quickly and then have inflation jump back to 6%, 7%, because obviously none of us want that. We want to taper back down in a reasonable level. So
Exactly. And from my side, what we also see, the appreciation of houses year by year, it's around, I think last year was 3.5% to 4% in some areas. So we are still on a hike. So this is still a seller's market. So we
yeah,
definitely need more homes, especially now
yeah,
that the buyers are getting ready. And we want to just also advise you that if you are thinking about maybe purchasing a house in 2024, please contact us before the tax season. We can help you navigate through that. This is extremely important. Once you do your taxes, in some cases, unfortunately, you have to wait for the next year. So if you've been holding off and you are getting ready right now, please contact us as soon as possible so we can help you make sure that you would qualify for the house that you really are interested in. Well, Matt, thank you so much for today. I hope you stay in touch and we can do this more often. Thank you for
sure.
all the information. And guys, please call Matt with everything that you need, refinancing, any loans you may require this year. And I wish you all the best and
Yeah,
new homes this year, right?
yeah. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
All
Bye.
right, bye bye.